What's up, everybody? Kimberly Olson here, also known as the Gold Digger Girl, coming in live for this week's episode of Be Inspired. I actually just tried to do a live and it froze up. It was this really weird thing. And then I tried to turn my phone off and the emergency thing went off. And I was like, okay, apparently I need to step away from electronics today because I've been on my computer all day. So here I am. I'm so excited to share this content with you and talk to you guys about being inspired. So Janie, I see you're on. Now you're stuck because you're the only one on at this moment. But if you guys are watching the replay, you're probably finding this to be somewhat comical. So if you guys are on right now, go ahead and put 1 in the comments if you're watching this live. If you're watching the replay, put 2. If you're new and you've never seen my videos before, welcome. I'm so glad to have you and so excited that you can tune in right now to Be Inspired. If you are sharing this video, I want you to put shared in the comments so I can shout you out for a special thank you, because it is important to share this kind of content. Too many times we go on Facebook or the news or wherever and it's just bad stuff, right? Like, why are we not talking about the good stuff, all those inspirational things? There's so much this world has to offer, and we get what we focus on. So if we focus on the good, we're gonna get more of the good. So make sure you share it and put share in the comments and I can shout you out for that. That means you are extra special and awesome in my book. Also, if you like this page, you're even more of an amazing person. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so let's jump in. So we're gonna talk about raising your standards, okay? Now, what happens a lot of times is when we join our network marketing business, or maybe some of you are entrepreneurs that follow me, and you think, I'm gonna start this incredible business. It's gonna be amazing. I'm just gonna create this magical thing. It's gonna be awesome. And we're just so excited. And we have this vision in our minds, right? We have the standard of what that looks like. You know, we have something positive to start with. But then what happens is we are around other people who aren't really like that, right? Maybe they're just kind of going with the flow, living the status quo, going to the 9 to 5, just kind of going through the motions, right? And before you know it, we are the combination. We are the product of our 5 closest friends. Thank you for sharing your awesome, is it Teresa? How do you say your name? Message me so I know how to say your name. Teresa Ann. Elise's middle name is Ann, by the way. So we are finding ourselves in a different situation. We are not living that magical, fabulous life of running our business or blowing up our network marketing business. And if you look around, what it is we have lowered our standards. Okay, a lot of it's based on our environment. It's not intentional. It happens subconsciously. Okay, your subconscious mind, when you want to make a change, this is often why you start a diet. Why, when you start a diet or you start going to the gym, you start seeing results. And then something in your mind says, well, I'll just skip today. I've gone 3 days this week. I'm just going to skip today. Or you are eating really well and your subconscious mind says, just go do it. You've done so good. Have that sugar, right? Go have it. You deserve it. Then what happens when you have the sugar? You freaking get addicted to the sugar and you, hey Dina, and you're obsessed, right? Or the working out. It's so easy to stop working out once you've started working out. Why is that? It's because your subconscious mind is pulling you back. Your subconscious mind is pulling you back into your old ways. So you're kind of up against this as it is. And so you're trying to raise your standard. You're trying to do something different. You've got your besties and your other people not doing it, or maybe your spouse is kind of want with, you know, excitement about changing and being a better person. And then your subconscious mind. So you've got some things up against you. So it's important to realize it's not that you're purposely lowering your standard for what you intended for yourself. It's just sort of happens, okay? So remember, who you spend your time with is who you become. So the more you can get into groups, if it's accountability groups, if you can get a running buddy, okay? Find 2 girlfriends that you guys can message each other every night to check in and say, this is how my day went today. You know, I said I was gonna do A, B, and C. I did it, this is how it went, okay? Get in, my boot camps are built in accountability. That's why I do them, you guys. That's why I don't make programs and just sell them. I spend the time every week, this is why I'm losing my voice. I spend the time every week to be in the boot camps, to be checking on you guys and fielding your questions, because I know how important it is to have that person there, okay? So you will raise your standards. You will up your game if the people around you are upping your game. Have you ever done that before, where you joined a group of some sort and all of a sudden you were like acting different, but in a good way? You were like, oh, I better do that, okay? Or I better do that thing. You were upping your game because of that group, okay? So your environment is huge for what it can do for what you are trying to do as far as raising your standard. Okay, so let's talk about Michael Jordan. So he has unbelievable natural talent. We can all agree on that. He was a sophomore in high school, just God-given talent. And, you know, he's trying out for the team, and the coach pulled him aside and he said, you're not making the team. And Michael Jordan's like, I'm the best guy out there. Are you freaking crazy? Coach said, you're not making the team. You don't have heart. You don't have discipline. You don't have respect. No, you're not making the team. But if you meet me every morning for an hour before school starts for a year, you have a chance of making the team next year. But if not, probably the same thing's going to happen. So Michael Jordan, obviously, could you imagine your ego as a high school kid, sophomore year? And he said, all right, I'm doing it. So he showed up for a year and he became the best, obviously. And went on, obviously, to be very successful in the NBA. He won, going back to that. So he was very successful. It paid off, obviously. And he found himself, he lost the national championship, I think, against Detroit. And he was on the bus and he was all pissed off. He was mad at his teammates because they weren't pulling their weight and they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. And he said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm not going to blame them. It's not them. This is on me, and I'm going to take ownership and I'm going to raise my standards. So he spent the next year lifting more than any other NBA player. He honed his skills. He became even more disciplined. He spent even more time. He came back to lead his team to win 3 back-to-back national championships, then retired and came back and won 3 more. Like, who does that? Okay, right? How did he do that? He did that because he raised his standards. So in an interview, they asked him, what was his keys to success? And he said, the difference about me is I'm not competing with other people. I'm competing with myself. I am just competing with myself to say, are you being the best person you can be today? And that's what I wanted to bring to the table for you guys, is asking yourself, stop comparing yourself to me and whoever else is on your team or who you're seeing on social media. Compare yourself to you. Are you being the best person that you can be today? Are you showing up and bringing your A game, right? What are you bringing to the table? And it's not about you bringing it to the table to me, to your own table, to your own life. How are you adding value? How are you showing up? Hi, Suzanne, thanks for hopping on, okay? Michael Jordan, competes with no one except for himself. Every day, I want you to ask yourself the question, how can I be the best version of myself today? What can I do to compete with yesterday? That was yesterday, it's done. What can I do to up my game yesterday? If you guys see the content I have coming down the pipeline, you would probably pass out in a good way. Because the things that pop into my mind, sometimes I'm like, okay, I guess God wants me to do that, so we're gonna make that happen. But it just keeps expanding. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? Why is that? Because I am constantly thinking, how can I do that better? I just messaged my assistant, Anna, today, and I said, I have an idea. After we send this out, this is what we can do now. This is gonna be so much better, okay? We are looking all the time, how can we improve what we're doing? How can I serve you guys better, okay? It's about upping your game and competing against yourself, okay? The best way I can sum this up, and this is from Tony Robbins, he always says this, you need to change your shoulds to must. So at the end of the day, how many of you have done this before where you've had a really long day? You're exhausted, okay? All you can think about is sitting down and watching Netflix or The Bachelor or going to sleep because you're so tired. And then you think, and maybe you think of it the next day, but you think, I didn't prospect anybody today. I didn't reach out to one person. I didn't even do my follow-ups today. I'm so tired though. I'm just gonna go to bed. Okay, those are, we should prospect. What you need to do is change it to, I must prospect, I will prospect, and I will stay up until as late as needed. I remember voice messaging my coach I was coaching with back in the fall. And I said, it was really late, it was like 11 o'clock, 11:30, and this is before I got into a groove of staying up really late. And I said, what do I do if I have like 100 messages to go through? Like, I have so many messages. And she said, you just stay up and go through them. And I was like, okay. So this isn't about burnout. This is about putting your freaking goals right in front of your face and stop making excuses. Because let's face it, you all have 10 minutes to prospect 2 people. Like, we all have the time to do it. We just don't want to do it. It's not the fun part of our business, right? But we're making it a should, okay? You need to make it a must. So get in a group, get an accountability partner. Somebody can help you with that, but you need to be able to know, like, this is a non-negotiable for me, okay? If you guys are in my group, the Gold Diggers of Network Marketing, my daily activity tracker is on there. Or if you go to my website, thegolddiggergirl.com, it'll pop up, and you can use that as your non-negotiable list, okay? You want to master your craft. So Tony Robbins says this, what you practice in private is what you'll be rewarded for in public. What you practice in private is what you'll be rewarded for in public. Don't you just shake your head sometimes when you see somebody reach the top of your company in 5 months and you're like, how the F did they do that, right? We don't know everything going on behind the scenes, okay? Even Tony Robbins, you know the hours and hours and hours it took to build who he is as a person and build his programs out? It took hours. You guys don't see this isn't to say, oh, woe is me. It's to show, personally, I'm going through it, the hours and hours and hours I spend developing content, the late nights, the weekends, all that stuff, okay? There's so much that goes into it. Is the stuff that you guys are seeing is the end result, okay? So remember that you've got to work your tail off if you want to get those results. So don't compare yourself to those people, okay? You can use them as a model, someone to look up to, but know that it's all behind the scenes. You don't know what they're all doing. So it's what you're going to do those late nights, the nooks and crannies of your day to hone your skills, craft your skills, and that way you can reap the rewards in public, okay? So to wrap up, make sure you are following me on iTunes. I don't know if you guys like audio, but a lot of people like podcasts. I have over a dozen episodes on iTunes. It's the Goal Digger Girl. You can easily find it. I wanted to mention that. And also my Instagram bootcamp is open. It'll start next week and everything's recorded so you can work at your own pace, but it's a 30-day bootcamp. It's a crash course on Instagram. So if you want to build on Instagram or you already are and you need to know how to get more followers, how do you get engagement on your post, how do you really leverage it to build your business, I will teach you everything. So I have almost 13,000 followers and I have prospects I get from there. I get customers, I get business builders, I get people who do my programs like this from there. It's legit, like it's amazing. It's the fastest growing platform. I think it's really smart to also build on more than one platform. Just my 2 cents. So just put your email in the comments below if you haven't already, and I will send you an email with more information on that. I just wanted to mention that so you guys knew about that. The next time I'll see you will be right back here Thursday night, and we are going to talk about something awesome, but I don't have my notes in front of me to tell you what that is, but it'll be great. So I'll be back here Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for a weekly training to help you grow your business. So thanks for watching. So good to see you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.